So I've got great expectations for everybody. All right, so complete the graduation requirements. That's the first thing, right? That's what you're here for. But the next thing is have fun. If for some reason this doesn't look like it's going to be fun, then by all means get a different project if that's what you need, or let me know so we can change things. Because working on a project that isn't fun is like pushing Jell-O uphill, and I don't want to do that. What I want to do is help you all get A's on your project work, and so we need to work together to do that. But have fun, and that's a key. All right, something else. We're going to use axiomatic design, and the 7th ICANN is the 7th International Conference on Axiomatic Design. And I think I sent you all the URL for the introduction I did to axiomatic design, and we're going to skip that. In the past, we used to take an extra hour or so in this meeting to go over axiomatic design. But that's up on YouTube, and everybody. Has anybody watched that yet? All right, great. Good. All right. So, I realized that the term was just over yesterday, and some of you people may have been sleeping in this morning. And from the window of my condo, I heard that there was plenty of commotion out on Humboldt Street until I don't know what time it was. Anyway, but that conference is a neat opportunity. And we're going to have the top people in the world in axiomatic design here, including Nam Su, who has an honorary degree from WPI, his first of many. He's the father of axiomatic design. He worked on it at MIT in the 70s when he was a professor there at MIT. And he went on to be head of engineering at the National Science Foundation, and then president of KAIST, which is an amazing school in Korea. And so we're going to need some student help. And so if you can be here, let me know. And we also need somebody who's going to be here that would like to be coordinator or in charge of student volunteers. So if anybody would like to do that, nice resume builder. Okay, but if you don't want to say anything now, is there anybody who, let me know. Let me know if you can do that. We'd be glad to have you. So that's a great event, great opportunity. There's 3 days. The first day is all tutorials, and so if you can make it for one day, that would be the day to hit. And we'll have one introductory session that's actually based for 4 things all day long. One introductory track based on a short course that I've given at UTC. Different people will be delivering it, so it'll have some individual stuff that you won't see on a lot of the same short course that's posted on the MyWPI site. So you could take a look at that on MyWPI. 8 hours almost of video of me. And how lucky you guys are. All right. Don't try to listen to it while you're driving. You'll be responsible for everybody falling asleep. Okay, but it's all right. Let's see what else is there. All right, so we've got the day tutorials. Nam Su is giving a keynote on the 26th in the evening, and we've got a nice evening planned for everybody. So if you can be there, that's great. We're going to video as much of it as we can, so if you can't be there, you can catch up with it on video. All right, the schedule. My schedule is often tough, and I apologize for that in advance. Later this month, I've got to be in Brazil. Next month, I've got to be in Taiwan. Before our conference here. In July, I turned down opportunities to travel internationally and do work in Europe because I just needed a month off. In August, I'm scheduled to be in Argentina, in Chile, in Denmark, and then in September, and this is a tough one. So right at the beginning of the term, I've got to spend 4 weeks in France and Finland. So So what I would like to do, and I've always wanted to do this, and we've tried to do this, but this year it's going to be even more important, is to really hit the ground running when we get into A-term. And I'd like you to work a little bit on your MQPs and IQPs over the summer, and to have a proposal completed by 19 August. Now we'll iterate on this, and you'll do it in small bits. I always like to see an outline first, and it's something to get you thinking about what you're going to do, and I think it'll make a big difference in the success of your MQP. The thing that we want to avoid, and here's what the worst MQPs do, just so you know. You show up in September, and let's say I was going to be here. You show up at the end of August for A-term. Let's say I was going to be here, and you get together with your buddies and sort of get in, settle into the classes a little bit, and then think, oh, I better schedule an MQP meeting. So sometime around the middle of September, we end up meeting, and then, we're going to think about our objectives, and maybe by the end of A-term, you got a draft of a proposal ready. And then B-term, you sort of do a little design work, and let's see what we can do, and then not a whole lot happens between Thanksgiving and winter break, and then come back in January, time for job interviews, and every once in a while somebody's trying to see how many frequent flyer miles they can collect at the expense of potential companies. And of course that takes priority over MQP work, and then MQP work starts to become real critical at the beginning of April. Because, oh, that's right, I can't really accept this job if I haven't graduated. And then all of a sudden the MQP work goes like this and all-nighters, and it's terrible. So let's not do that. And one of the things we'd like to do is actually start making things in October, get ahead of everybody else to get stuff made. And for the IQP, there are people here for next year's IQP? Is that not, okay, great. So getting stuff up on the web and getting going on that. Is anybody else here for the museum IQP? All right, we need to recruit some people for that. Okay, so the IQP is special, but a lot of the stuff is exactly the same. And we want to do some design work there, and the axiomatic design is great. And let me just point out something on design and axiomatic design. One of the reasons I stress this. One of the questions I ask students lots of times when we're sitting down in the design groups, or in the MQP group is, all right, so without axiomatic design, what are you going to do for your design method that's different than you could have done 4 years ago when you're still in high school? And most people don't have an answer to that. We're going to brainstorm, and we're going to try to select the best one, and we're going to make it. And so the one thing that engineers do that's different than everybody else is we dream of things that never were and ask why not. We do design. All right. So what you want to do is get this proposal ready, and this is the same sort of proposal that you'll do if you're making a proposal to the National Science Foundation or some company for work. It is going to be the introduction, or the first draft of the introduction for your final write-up. And it gets you thinking about what you need to do to get started. And it is the same outline for if you're going to do a technical scientific paper. And we've got the IQP group. You submitted how many papers to ISSS? 3? 3. Yeah, 3. So let's need 3 international presentations for the IQP group. That's a record. That may be a record for any project, any time that we go. But
this was a record number of board members.
No. I've had bigger ones. All right, but yeah. All right, so objective, what you're going to do, keep it short. It could be one sentence. Right? Make sure that you don't put approach and other things, keep stuff in the right categories. So objective, one sentence. Rationale, why is it important? Then you can hit 3 things. Technically, this is a particularly interesting challenge. Socially, we're going to prevent ACL injuries or limit ski injuries. Or and commercially, why is economically, what can this do? And here we need some citations. Use the author year format as opposed to numbers. This is much easier to keep sorted. Then state of the art, and it's very much what Bill was talking about. And we're looking particularly at 3 areas: scientific, technical, patent, and commercial. And that's easy to do on the web. The web has made that so much easier. Approach. This is not the method. The method comes later. This is compare and contrast what you're doing with the state of the art. So we know how you're going beyond, we're trying to improve the state of the art. And so So this whole thing could be in almost 2 pages at this stage. Depends on how much you get on the state of the art. And then method. Eventually, this is like a cookbook, step-by-step approach. So this is how we do what we're doing. In the case of the design things, what we're looking at is sort of the beginning of your decomposition here. And then a bibliography, so you have complete citations there. So that I would like to see you guys working on. We need to iterate by email on this, at least over the summer. Those of you who are around, I'd be happy to meet with you here. I'll be around most of the summer when I'm not traveling. But anyway, so there's the emails. The initial decomp. Now, Claro is the software for doing axiomatic design. And we'd also like to see the initial, at least the upper levels of your decomposition, get you started on that. So we're really hitting the ground running. But this is the conceptual kinds of things, sort of big picture stuff, to have some idea of the direction. Project management. So this is part of your job. This is your project design. You're making the key decision. And so what I'd like you to do in the next couple of weeks is to put together, all right, here's our plan for completing the proposal and completing the initial decomposition by the middle of August. And here's when we're going to do what. So there's Gantt charts that you can download. Justin, I don't know if you're going to make yours available. The MQP group made a neat one. But all you need to do is just get Excel and say, all right, here's the dates across the top, here's the tasks down the side, and just sort of block out, here's what we're going to do when. The key is selecting an objective and spend some time at the general sort of high levels thinking about things and sort of hammering out an objective. This is the beginning. Everything goes back to that objective, so it's key to get that right. So we need to schedule meetings, and so we'll work by Skype and phone primarily over the summer, but if you're on campus, great, and it'd be fun to see you. The week of August 26th, that's in between my presentations in Denmark and the beginning of my invitation to be in France and lecture there. So that week, we're going to try to meet in person. There's classes on Thursday and Friday. Probably the beginning of that week. I haven't scheduled my plane yet. I'm not sure when the people need me in France exactly. But so if you can try to plan to be here, it's better face-to-face, but it doesn't have to be. It could be Skype. So the idea is to get the stuff in on the 19th. I will look at that while I'm in Denmark, and then we'll have something to discuss and get you guys started. Now, all during September, we'll meet, but at least once a week, but that will be electronically. When we do the meetings, the way I prefer to schedule meetings is you get together with a group and figure several times that would be good, give them to me in your favorite order, and say this is our best time to get together. And all these times work, but this is our first choice. And then I choose the time we're going to meet. Because if I suggest a date and then you get back to me and say, well, it doesn't work for us, in the meantime, the rest of my calendar's filled up. So the quickest way to do this is to have you suggest the good times. And then I'll take the best one, as close to your favorite as I can.